Hi, my name is Milky Way. I'm a bassist and singer in a band called Wargasm, and I'm also a professional model. So Sam and I started Wargasm we officially launched in about August 2019, but we kind of prepped it for a year before that, got to know each other, wrote some songs that weren't very good, and then like a couple songs that were okay, and we ended up releasing those. We just bonded over, you know, like new metal and cyberpunk films and sci-fi and a lot of stuff, and we ended up just building this project Wargasm, and here we are now. My advice for anyone wanting to break into the music industry is be bold, write good songs, have a clear vision, look cool if you can, if you want to. If you don't want to look cool, that's totally fine, but I always think if you have it has to be a world. You have to have a world that people can step into. Obviously the music is important and the music comes first, and if your music isn't good at the heart of it, it doesn't matter how good you look, because you don't have the music to back it up. It has to go hand in hand. You have to create something cohesive that people want to not buy into, but people want to let themselves become one with, you know? That would be my advice. How would I describe my style? Guitar hero character, pretty much. My connection to vintage. I've always been a fan of vintage and second-hand clothing, you know, hand-me-downs. I would beg my mum for like any old like fur coats that my granny had, or any old jackets and stuff that was in the attic. I always liked that kind of stuff, and I always liked the idea that you can give clothes a second life almost. And I like the stories that come with old clothes. Even if you don't actually know the story, you can kind of tell by the way something looks. I feel like when it's been worn a little bit, the look and the feel of a worn second-hand piece feels nicer to me personally. And then also when you grow up a bit more and you learn about the sustainability side of it and you get more into that, I just think it's kind of a no-brainer. Who are your style icons and major influences? Of course, Prince, Wendy Williams from the Plasmatics, Paris Hilton, Flora Choi, Tank Girl, 80s cock rock. Dennis Robin always looks pretty good too, I'll throw him in there. He loves a good crop top, low-waisted moment, which I'm also obviously a big fan of. My music definitely influences how I dress. I mean, half the people that I just named as my style icons are all musicians. Even like, you know, the classic punk ladies, you know, Joan Jett and Debbie Harry, even all the way up to more recently, you know, Brody Dalle. It all influenced the way I dressed, seeing photos of them when I was growing up. But I think as well as that, I was a big Gaga fan when I was growing up, so having Gaga as an influence, maybe not so directly style influence, but the way she preached, you know, self-love, self-confidence, believing in who you are, not giving a flying fuck about anything else. It was definitely an invaluable skill that I learned very early, and it helped me, you know, lean into my own style pretty early and be confident in who I am, and have the confidence to experiment and try out different things with my clothing, which has led me here today. So the one trend that I'm backing over the next coming months is, if you couldn't already tell, vintage leather. So I'm a big fan of vintage leather, and I think that it's a good way to keep incorporating leather into your wardrobe when maybe you're vegan, you're vegetarian, or you just don't want to wear animal-based products. And I think that's totally fair if you don't want to wear vintage leather. It's totally personal choice, but I think if you do want to keep incorporating leather into your outfit, if you're looking at shopping more sustainably, I think the vintage leathers are a great way to go with it, because it allows you to, you know, look badass but also not contribute to the kind of toxic leather industry. And in this household we love and respect cows. So Rocket was kind enough to let me pick 3 items off their website, and it was actually a complete coincidence that they all happened to be leather pieces. I guess I'm just kind of hardwired for that. But the first piece is this leather bra, and it's got a beautiful little heart gem in the middle. It's very Britney, very Xtina, very 90s, and I'm all about that. And it is one size fits all, but it is a tie at the back, so I feel like it's pretty adjustable. It's meant to fit up to a size 12, I believe. And even though I'm a member, an outstanding member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, but I feel like it's pretty adjustable. I've paired it with my Jaden Doc Martens, which are literally falling to pieces. They have holes in them. I've had them for like 6 years now, and they are leather, but I did get them before I stopped eating meat. So I think it's okay to wear something to the very end of its life, and then, you know, maybe get a vegan alternative after that. But I'm a big believer in wearing something until you literally cannot wear it anymore. This is definitely something that I would wear on stage. This is pretty much my go-to stage look. I have this little Calvin Klein underwear. It's not thong, but it gives you that illusion. And these fake leather legging pants that my mom got for me. Thanks, Mary. With this vintage leather jacket, Prince pin, and my Wargasm pin. Back it off. So, next item I chose from Rocket is this Tank Girl Lara Croft could definitely run through the dystopian wasteland with this water bottle holder. And it is adjustable here, so any kind of water bottle can fit into it. And this, along with the bra, are both part of the Rocket Originals collection. So the third piece that I picked from Rocket is this 80s shoulder pad structured cropped blazer with these chiffon sleeves. And it also has this little chiffon panel at the back here. And I just really love this. I think it's very Prince vibes. I feel like he'd definitely wear this. So I decided to style it in a fit that I would definitely wear on a night out after all this stuff is over and we can dance and drink and get sweaty again. I'm getting sad just thinking about it. On the bottom I'm wearing a scarf that I got from a charity shop turned into a skirt. Just Google it, it'll tell you how to do it. It's easy. You just wrap it around. It's like a mini sarong, you know? And the belt, which I also used in this look, is from my ex-flatmate, ex-boyfriend. Didn't like him, so he left his belt there and it's mine now. For anyone looking to break into the music industry, it's hard to give it as a post-COVID kind of hindsight, because previously, normally, in the normal world that is not right now, I would say networking, just like going out. I mean, this is the way I did it. I would just go out with Sam, we would get drunk, go to Crowbar, put on some Iron Maiden on the jukebox, and then shout about our band to whoever was around, and we just so happened to bump into some industry people there and some, you know, like regular metalheads who are like, okay, cool, this sounds cool. You're fucked, but I'll check it out. So normally that's what I'd say. So anyone wanting to get into the music industry now, I'd say you have to get creative with your networking, because it's not as easy as just getting drunk and going to Crowbar anymore. How does it feel to be a woman in a male-dominated space? I mean, I've had my fair share of bullshit, misogynistic, stupid comments, people looking down on me, silly comments on YouTube and on our live videos, in person, everything, pretty much everything. And we've only been going for it like over a year, so I can't imagine how much harder all the other female musicians who have been going for longer must have had it. But to be honest, it almost feels like I'm in like a badass woman echo chamber. I follow so many women who are really cool and absolutely smashing it at the minute that I almost forget that it's a male-dominated space. And I think if you can just forget it sometimes, maybe it'll help you thrive more, because I spent a lot of time being like, oh, I feel uncomfortable here, I don't know if I should belong here, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. But then as soon as you forget that, you kind of can just let yourself thrive, and you kind of, personally, you kind of just forget that you're in a male-dominated space, and if you have enough women around you to support you, it kind of just becomes a cool time, doesn't it? Also, I'm going to use this time to plug my friend's podcast on Wednesdays We Wear Black. It is Yasmin, Alex and Sophie, and they are three women, non-binary people who are smashing it in the music industry now and have been for the past few years. And if you would like some insight into what it's like to be a woman or a non-binary person in the music industry, I would definitely check out their podcast. It's fucking hilarious. I love those people with all my heart. What is my plan for world domination in 2021? I'm glad you asked. So the plan is drop some sexy, heavy, fun, irresistibly riffy bangers that are so good that just everyone in the world has to love us and bow to the cult of Wargasm. So expect that soon. Thanks for asking me some questions and sending me some cute clothes.